Krishna sir, namaskaram. Krishna sir.
Hello, TKP sir.
Yes.
எப்ப என்ன இந்தியாவுக்கு வந்துட்டா? யூஎஸ்ல தான் இருக்கேடா?
இல்ல வந்தாச்சு வந்து ஒரு 20 நாள் ஆச்சு. 15 நாள் தூக்கத்திலே போயிடுது.
சரிதான்.
எது நைட் தெரியாம தூங்கிட்டு இருந்தோம். இப்ப கொஞ்சம் தெரிகிறது இதான் டே இதான் நைட்டுன்னு.
நல்லது. அப்புறம் திருமேனி பாங்கா இருக்கா?
ஓகே, பரவாயில்ல, ஒன்றும் ப்ராப்ளம் இல்லை. அங்க போய் ஐ ஹேட் மை 80th அபிஷேகம் செலிப்ரேட்டட் தேர் அட் கலிபோர்னியா. பையனுடைய காலத்துல.
நமஸ்காரம் சார். எங்களுக்கெல்லாம் உங்களோட 80th பர்த்டே பார்க்க முடியல. அங்கேயே ஒரு ஆசீர்வாதத்தை தாங்க.
அதான் உங்களுக்கு இதெல்லாம் அனுப்பிச்சிருந்தேனே.
இல்ல அது சரி, இப்ப பொதுவா உள்ளவருக்கு எதிர்க்கு நான் கேட்கணும் இல்லையா, அதுக்கோசரம்.
சரி,
ஓகே சார்.
மேடம் எங்க இருக்கீங்க நீங்க?
நான் ஹைதராபாத்ல இருக்கேன்.
பெங்களூர்.
கிருஷ்ணா சார், ஐயோ சாரி சார், ஐயோ எனக்கு மறந்து ஜாஸ்தி. பெங்களூர்ல இருக்கேன் சார்.
பெங்களூர்ல இருக்கா? இங்க இல்லையா? பசுல்லா ரோட்ல? இல்ல,
அதான் இடப்பெயர்ச்சி மாதிரி ஆயிடுச்சு சார் என்னோடது.
பரவாயில்ல, சந்தோஷம். எங்க இருந்தாலும் சந்தோஷம்.
என்னோட வாசல் பெங்களூர் தான்.
பார்சாரதி கோ-ஹோஸ்ட் ஆரம்பிச்சலாமா?
ஆரம்பிக்கலாம் சார்.
தயாநிதி சுவாமி வந்துட்டாரா?
சரி, முதல்ல 6 o'clock now சரியா இருக்கும். நமஸ்காரம் டு ஒன் அண்ட் ஆல்.
நமஸ்காரம்.
Let us start with the prayer by, as usual, our Asthana Vidushaki Yamini Ramesh. She has chosen a very nice song. I think she will be rendering it.
आदौ देवकी देवी गर्भजननं गोपी गृहे वर्धनं मायापूतन जीवितापहरणं गोवर्धनोद्धारणं कंसच्छेदन कौरवादिहरणं कुन्ती सुतापालनं चैतद्भागवतं पुराणकथितं श्रीकृष्ण लीलामृतम् श्री कृष्ण लीलामृतम्.
Thank you, madam. You have chosen a very nice song, very much apt to this occasion. Now, I request Mr. Srinivasa Raghavan to formally inaugurate the lecture event.
Namaskaram to all. Asesha Siddhachit Vastu Seshile Seshasayine Nirmalananda Kalyana Nadiye Vishnave Namaha. This is the Mangala Slokam of Srimad Ramanujam to his Vedartha Sangraha, wherein he has included all the concepts of Mahavishnu, Vishnu, all pervading. And the entire philosophy of Vishishtadvaita is impounded therein. Now, at the outset, I submit my pranams to Dr. K. Dayanidhi Swami, HOD, Department of Vaishnavism, Madras University, Secretary of the Association, Alumni Association, Dr. T.K. Parsardi Swami, and other professors, my co-friends, and and also the who are all assembled here, all Vaishnavists, I submit my pranams. The Department of Vaishnavism has arranged this lecture uniting Vishnu, Vaishnavism and Vedanta with reference to philosophy religion. We are honored and eager to hear the significant subject from Dr. Srinivasa Acharya. We are thankful to Dr. K. Dayalidhi Swami, HOD of Department of Vaishnavism Madras, and Dr. T.K. Parsarthi Swami, Secretary of the Alumni Association, for this lecture from Dr. Srinivasa Acharya. Today's lecture by Dr. Srinivasa Acharya is a scholar on Dvaita philosophy, and it's going to be a comparative study. He's going to make a comparative study of Dvaita philosophy and Vasishtha Dvaita philosophy of Srimad Ramanuja. He is the HOD of Manipal University and a man with multifaceted knowledge. From computer to Sanskrit, he is well versed and is guiding his students in linguistics. And we are really fortunate to have him in our midst. He has given a lecture in many European universities, which have honored him rightly. Today's lecture is a very significant one, very thought-provoking one, and it is very difficult to render this lecture, to render this subject within a short span of 1 year. Howsoever, Dr. Srinivasa Acharya, we hope that he will do well. And many of us are yet to hear him. And even though, as I told you, that he has got a vast experience of being a philosophy professor. And now, due to short span of time, I hope this introduction is sufficient to appreciate Dr. Srinivasa Acharya. We await to hear from Dr. Srinivasa Acharya for his thought-provoking lecture. Thank you.
Now, the welcome address, of course, I am taking it up. Welcome to this unique meet on Vishnu, Vaishnavism and Vedanta, Philosophizing Religion, a speech to be rendered by our good friend, Mr. Srini Acharya. We call him, he is popularly known as Srini. I have association with him. This is my second occasion where I am talking along with him. One, he was talking about Dvaitam, I was talking about Vasishtha Dvaitam. One other gentleman was talking about Advaitam. This happened last year during peak COVID period. Now we are free from that pandemic. Today's speaker is a scholar on Dvaita philosophy of Madhvacharya. As you know, Dvaitam is one of the main three Vedanta schools, which base its doctrines on Prasthanatrayam. Vedanta, all Vedanta schools base their doctrines on Prasthanatrayam, and the three Vedanta school, Advaita, Visishtadvaita, and Dvaita, declare that moksha, that is liberation, is the basic, dominant, and achievable goal of a human life. We know about this. But all the three are very important, as in a popular verse goes, that the three great preceptors, Shankara, Ramanuja, and Madhva, have invented here and created a staircase to ascend to the terrace of liberation. Sri Shankara Ramanuja Madhvacharya Avadaram Atra Ekila Swamanadijam Nirmaksa Mukti Gautam Virudam. This is the story. So all the three Vedanta school teach us only how to reach liberation. Both Dvaita and Visishtadvaita believe that Hariyeva Paradattvam. Only Paradattvam is Hari. In fact, my professor, Mr. VKS and Raghavan used to tell that Dvaitam is more a Vaishnava concept than Vaishnavism itself, because they believe only in Hari. Now, Srinivasa Acharya is popularly known as Srini, as I told, belongs to the Department of Philosophy, Manipal University, MAHE. At present, he oversees an interdisciplinary research project on Mahabharata, and he has taken analysis using Sanskrit computer linguistics in digital humanities. He is a PhD in Navya Nyaya, MA in Navya Nyaya, Alankara, and did undergraduate in the same topic. He also holds a bachelor degree in library science. He holds a PG degree in Tantric Shastra, apart from possessing a diploma in computer application. He has a knowledge of French and German also. He has given me so many facts, but if I add everything, it will come to my speech will be dominant. So I'm cutting here. He is a man of multifaceted personality. His doctoral research thesis, in fact, he has written in Sanskrit. His thesis involves a textual analysis of a 16th century seminal work dealing with the philosophy of language in Indian epistemology. So we are very fortunate to have such a scholar amongst us today, and I now request him to deliver his speech. Thank you very much.
Namaste. That big introduction is not needed. I'm Srinivasa Acharya. I work at Manipal. I live in Udupi. I'm from Chennai. So it is interesting to know that Chennai being the house of Ramanuja, the place of Ramanuja, and Udupi being the place of Madhva. So these two places and the people from these two places are now joined online. And this Prayaga Sangama, the entire credit goes to the Department of Vaishnavism and the Alumni Association. So they have brought these two holy places online, virtual Sangama. So I am a part of it. So I got an opportunity to take bath in this holy Prayaga. Let me begin let me share my thoughts with two Mangalacharanam. Sadhagamaika Vigneyam Samatita Ksharaksharam Narayanam Sada Vande Nirdosha Shesha Sadgunam Ashesha Chitijit Vastu Sheshine Sheshashayine Nirmala Nanta Kalyana Nidaye Vishnave Namaha. So the first Mangalacharanam is composed by Madhvacharya in his Vishnu Tattva Nirnaya, a Prakarana Grantha. The second Mangalacharana, as respected Professor Srinivasa Raghavan sir shared the same Mangalacharanam at the beginning of Bhagavad Ramanuja in his Vedartha Sangraha. So these two Mangalacharanam very clearly gives us the idea of the conception of Vishnu and what sort of Vaishnavism that the Vedanta upholds. Now, there is a lot of things, Vishnu, Vaishnavism, Vedanta, and philosophizing religion. It's a bit too much in one lecture, to be honest. I hope I have till what time, so I'll keep the time count. What is my time limit, sir? It's 6:15 now. How long is my lecture?
1 hour, sir.
Okay. You just
an hour is enough.
Okay, fine. So should I wind up by 7 or 7:15 or even early?
Which one, sir?
Should I wind up by 7 o'clock or 7:15 or even early?
Okay, 7:15 you can take, no problem.
Okay.
Between 7 and 7:15, not a very big issue.
So let me first not get into these two Mangalacharanam, because these two Mangalacharanams are the response for the problem. So whether it is Indian philosophical traditions or the Western philosophical traditions or even other non-Indian philosophical traditions, problem is something that the philosophers love. All of them love to problematize something and then provide the solution or find a solution. It has been a case for every philosopher. Why so? Because we are very inquisitive being. We don't take up everything for granted. Even Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, he very clearly says, Pariprashnena sevaya, upadekshanti te jnanam jnaninas tattvadarshinaha. You cannot take things for granted. See, Krishna is such a people, those who believe in Krishna, they consider him God. Now, let's not, we don't have to even consider Krishna as a God. Even if you consider him as a simple human being, the jnana that he has provided is something that is really impossible for any human to provide. Why so? He says that because I just say these, Arjuna, you don't have to believe in them. You have to question me, not just question me. Prashna, pariprashna. Even Chandogya Upanishad also says the same. Yadeva vidyaya shraddaya. Faith comes second. Yadeva vidyaya shraddaya karoti. Tadeva viryavattaram bhavati. Chopanishada karoti tadeva viryavattaram bhavati. Vidya is very important. That is all the vidya. Paravidya, aparavidya. Whether we are learning something materialistic, physical or metaphysical, immaterialistic, transcendental, spiritual. All vidyas are equally important. Raghavendra Swami says, what is this paravidya? What is this aparavidya? How do I know? So he responds, Tayeva parama vidyaha yada vishnostu vachakaha. All the vidyas, even including physics, chemistry, engineering, medical, paramedical, anything, all the vidyas, if we are elevated to that level, if we have that yogi pratyaksha through which we can see paratattva in all these universe, in all these universal sciences, then they are paravidya. If we can't see them, tayeva aparavidya yada vishnor navachaka. The same vidyas are aparavidya. So what we are engaging with, any form of engagement, any form of intellectual engagement, everything is equally important. Without these, we cannot attain moksha, or we cannot go near the paratattva. Why so? Because this entire universe is what? Now, Vedanta starts here. Atha ato brahma jignasa. Atha, since or after. Ataha, because there is phala, because there is some reason. Brahma jignasa, let us inquire into Brahma Tattva. What is Brahma Tattva? Brahma Tattva is that Nayayika say Brahma can be Brahma Tattva is that Janmadyasya yataha. Even Bhagavata Purana, one who very beautifully narrated the entire Sara of essence of Bhagavata in one shloka, Ekashloki Bhagavata. The entire Bhagavata Mahapurana starts with this verse, the Vedanta Tattva. Janmadyasya yatonvayad itaratas charteshu vigneswarat. Tene Brahma Hridaya Adikavaye Muhyantiyam Suraya. So Janmadyasya yataha. Janmadyashta Kartritva. Creation, sustenance, destruction, niyamana, niyanta, regulation, jnana, ajnana, bandha, moksha. All the 8 things for the chetana and achetana padartha is bestowed by the Supreme Being. Janmadyasya yataha. That is why even Paravidya and Aparavidya have to be studied. If we merely focus on Paravidya and forget the world, we wouldn't be able to relish the Supreme Being, the creator of this universe. He has created this universe not merely for us to enjoy, but to experience, but to see through them, see the beauty, see the diversity of the universe. Through that, we understand Vishnu. This is the essence of Vedanta. But how do I know who is Brahma? How do I know Brahma has done all this? Nayayika say this is only, and you can believe in Brahma through yukti, logic. Sakartarkatva anumana. There must be a creator or there must be a designer who has designed this intelligent design. There is everything is systematic in this universe. There is climate. Nothing is excessive, exceeding. One after another, there is a cycle. Everything is so systematically designed. The places are so systematically kept. The resources are so systematically produced. If you travel around the world, the beauty of the world will speak the beauty of Parabrahma. Janmadhyasya yataha. Now, but how? But logic, can it speak and prove that Vishnu exists, Brahma exists? As of now, I'm assuming Vishnu is Brahma. I'll tell why later. So, Vedanta says, whether it is Shankaracharya, Ramanujacharya, or Madhvacharya, all these three people, they are Vedantins. They believe in Upanishad. Vedanta means Vedasya Antaha. Vedasya Saraha iti avat. Vedasya Antaha means not the last section of Veda, as many understand. It is the quintessence, it's the essence, quintessence of the Veda. Veda Anta means Antarala. Vedasya Hridaya Vedanta. Upanishad. Upanishad says, Naisha Tarkena Matirapaneya Proktanyeneva Sujnanaya Preshta. Naisha Tarkena Matirapaneya. This logic is good, but if the most intellectual individual wields that logic, it will disprove God. If the most intellectual individual wields that logic, it will prove God. Logic is in the hand of the human or as sentient entity, Chetana, who, depending on their intellectual potency, logic functions. We cannot blindly trust logic. Logic can go here, it can go here, because our rationality is bounded. Our rationality is bounded by our own experience and by our own limitations. Then how do I know who is Brahma? Shastra Yonitvat. Only Shastras, scriptures, sciences can prove who is God, what is God. What does that mean? How do I know? Shastras, if I read Bauddha Darshana or non-Indian texts, I would understand there are even strong and irrefutable questions on the existence of God or Brahma. Even the very idea of God and religion itself is highly critiqued or criticized in the modern day scenario. And the religion itself has become a problematic institution in many cases. Now, how do I know? And if I read even the Vedanta, some people say Veda is Paurushaya, some people say Veda is Apaurushaya. Even in that, some people say Veda's focus is only on Karma Tattva. Other people say Veda's focus is only on Brahma Tattva. Even if in that some people say Veda's focus is not only on Brahma Tattva, the Brahma is nothing but we ourselves. There is no Brahma independent of us. Some people say it is independent, and so on. Now, how do we know? What is Vedanta? What is Vedasya Sara? What is Shastra? What kind of Shastra? Tattva Samanvaya. If there is any problem in the Shastra, Samanvaya Adhyaya and Avirodhadhyaya of Brahmasutra Bhashya of Vedavyasa, Brahmasutra of Vedavyasa. Samanvaya means it's very difficult to translate this word. Aya means jnana. Anvaya means through what you get jnana. Vakyanvaya, Shastrarthanvaya, Vakyarthanvaya. Some anvaya means, as of now, I'm hermeneutic sequence. Hermeneutics is what samanvaya means. What does that mean? We cannot merely speak on Vedanta. We cannot merely speak on God and religion by merely having, at least me, Alpa Buddhi. I wouldn't say I'm a scholar. I am a learner. I'm not a Dvaita scholar or a Nyaya scholar. I am a learner in Dvaita, Nyaya and Vedanta. I'm a student because all of us are Swadhyaya Pravachanabhyam na Pramaditavyam. Swadhyaya Pravachana Eveti Nako Modgalyaha Tadditapas Tadditapah. We are eternal students, lifelong learners. So today, modern education systems emphasizes lifelong learning, but Upanishads and all have been emphasizing the same, that we are eternally lifelong students, even in this janma, even janma janmantara, even after moksha we will be students only, because Paramatma Tattva is that big that we can never be scholars in front of that. Now, so how do we understand? Through Samanvaya, we have to read a lot of texts. Purva Paksha, Madhya Paksha, Uttara Paksha, Siddhanta, and then make up our mind. What is it? Madhvacharya, in this case, provides a very simple logic to establish two things. One is whether there is God or not, and if there is God, who is that God? So he says, Yadinama paro nabhaved. He starts his verse like this. Harireva jagat pitrimatrigati. Harireva paro, harireva gurur, harireva jagat pitrimatrigati. Natatostya param jagadidyatamam paramat parata purushottamataha. So it is paramatattva, uttama the same even Ramanujacharya has told. Harireva jagat pitrimatrigati. Why should I consider Jagat Gati Hari? So Madhvacharya questions, okay, Yadinama paro nabhaveta harihi. So if you say Hari is not the supreme being, under Hari we are not under the control of, there is no supreme individual by name Hari, by conception Hari. Katamasya vashe jagadeta tabut. Then how come this whole universe has been under the control of that supreme individual? Who said it is under control of him? You are assuming it by yourself. Then Acharya Madhva, Ananda Tirtha. So Ramanujacharya lived from in the 11th century, 1017 to 1137. Madhvacharya came 100 years later, 1238, exactly 101 years later. However, whether in Madhvacharya's time or Ramanujacharya, sorry, I said Ramanujacharya, whether in Ramanujacharya's time or Madhvacharya's time, there are all debates about these timelines. There are different reasons why there are debates and so on, which one has to be accepted. As of now, this one has been agreed by most of the scholars. So we can take this as a reference point. How come the whole universe is under his control then? Who said that it is under his control? Yadinamanatasya vashe sakalam katameva tu nitya sukham na bhavet. Then how come what you want to experience does not happen? See, Sankhya says, or even accidentalism, or the theory of evolution, Parinamavada, says you have milk, the milk becomes curd. Similarly, you have all these bhuta tattvas, all the physical world that you have seen that you are seeing today. You see, there is an individual. There are two people. They come together in different species. After that, after a while, another one individual inseminates something in another individual. Over a period of time, you see that insemination uniting with other bodily parts. All the slowly it grows, it becomes huge, it comes out of different sources. Once it comes, you see it, it starts responding. At one point of time, it stops functioning. Recently, couple of months ago, I lost my father. He was fine, he was reading Mahabharata. Suddenly he fell sick, he was hospitalized. One day suddenly he passed away. He attained Haripada. Now he was active, he was reading, he finished whole Ramayana, he was reading Mahabharata, he was active. Suddenly one day he vanished. Now how this happens? It's accidental. There is nothing, no intelligent design behind it. You see it is functioning, it vanishes. It's a multicellular creature, multicellular organism, it vanishes. If it is so, then why come all of us, whether it be those who leave us, those who are going to come, those who are here, all of us, why do not we experience or live the wish that we have? Why there is some sort of obstacle? What does it stop us? If we have free will, absolute free will to exercise, why does it not happen? We want to drive safely, but we will, even the best of the drivers, they might end up with in an accident. A country is well protected. The countries that have ruled the whole different corners of the earth at one point of time, today they are in tatters. All these, no one sees the fall. Many corporate giants have thought that they will never fall. Many ideas have never thought they would never, we have never imagined that they would fall. But today we don't see them substantially strong. Katameva tu nitya sukham bhave na bhavet. Why there is no swatantriya? Why there is no swecha shakti? Why it is not functioning? It is all because there is niyanta. Whether it is Ramanuja's philosophy or Madhva's philosophy, both these Bhagavad Padas, Acharyas have unanimously, unequivocally have emphasized Vede Ramayane Chaiva Purane Bharate Tata Adavante Cha Madhye Cha Vishnu Sarvatra Giyate. Shastra Yoni. Whether it you take Ramayana, whether it be Mula Ramayana, Valmiki Ramayana, or other Ramayanas, whether you take Mahabharata, according to modern scholars, Mahabharata is not one entire, is not composed by one individual, or it's not, it's Jaya, Bharata and Mahabharata, it became like that. However, Orthodox traditional scholars do not agree with this view. So whatever it is, at the, whether it is Jaya or Bharata or Mahabharata, are the only one Mahabharata. Even Ashtadasha Purana, Itihasa Purana, Panchama Veda, whether it be Samhita, Brahmana, Aranyaka, Upanishad, whether it be Rigveda, Krishna Yajurveda, Shukla Yajurveda, Samaveda, Atharva Veda, Veda, whether it be Upaveda, Stapatya Veda, Ayurveda, Dhanurveda, Gandharva Veda, Artha Veda, whether it be Vedanga, whether it be Vedanta, whether it be Darshana, whether it be Shastra, all of them, their point is to speak of Supreme Being. Even in Yatindra Mata Deepika Srinivasa Dasa, he says in his Agama Paricheda, he says this very clearly, the entire, all the Shastras that have been before, what is our responsibility is that we see harmony in all these Shastras. This is one unique contribution that Shankaracharya, Madhvacharya and Ramanujacharya have emphasized, their traditions have emphasized, is to establish harmony in Vedic interpretation. There might be philosophical differences, but methodical differences not to that great extent. See, philosophy, Indian philosophy tradition goes like this. Today we see that there is a debate. So the moment the idea of debate comes, we interpret into the forms of dissent or differences, and then there is clash, conflict, communal fight. No, that has not been the case. Whether you take Ramanuja or whether you take Madhva, both these acharyas have been a good example for us to see Indian philosophy in a very, very harmonious spirit. Until whoever has been there before them, it is not that they have completely sublated the Purvacharyas. Rather, wherever there is problem, they have identified the problem. The point of problematizing is not to problematize them, but to identify the problems to have proper resolutions or solutions. What they have done is that wherever they already agree with the Purvacharya, whether it be Nyaya Darshana, whether it be Vaisheshika Darshana in terms of concepts, or in terms of ideas, or in terms of terms, or in terms of definitions. Wherever they agree with the Purvacharya, they have not changed that part. Wherever there is no clarity in Purvacharya's words, there they have provided a clarity. Wherever there is a problem in the Purvacharya's interpretation, if there is a paradox, they have resolved the paradox. That is the point of Tattva Samanvaya. That is the point of Avirodha Adhyaya. It is not to say Purvacharya is entirely wrong. This is one concept that is the Vaishnava schools both have provided in such a great clarity. You can take their any text and see that they both speak in the same voice. This is one very important point in this lecture. So even Madhvacharya, when he has provided his philosophy, there are two verses that do sangraha of entire Madhva philosophy. I will take one of them because it's very important for us to see both the Vaishnava schools. Shriman Madhva Mate. You can also just change this Sri Ramanuja Mate. Hari Parataraha. Hari is supreme being. Both of them say the same. Satyam Jagat. Jagat is not Maya Kalpita. Satyam Jagat. And Ramanuja's philosophy, the metaphysics and epistemology of Ramanuja philosophy, Satyativada it is. The entire universe, Abhava only is not there. Abhava is entire universe, it's Bhava Swarupa. Ajnana, Avidya is just Avaraka, that's it. There is no Ajnana. Trivrit Karana. Satyam Jagat. Vedo Jiva Ganaha. This is a bit different, but only in the interpretation, not in the concept. Bhaskaracharya, Ramanujacharya, Shankaracharya, they had a very unique conception of Brahma. Whereas Ramanuja said, similar to what Madhva also has told later. You experience at every point of your life Paratantriya, Adhinya, Adhinata. Then how come you can claim that you are supreme being? And also, you also clearly experience certain emotions and feelings. One spiritual emotion or feeling is called bhakti or prapatti. You feel when you see Vibhava Rupa of Mahavishnu, Vasudeva, or Archa Rupa, Adyam Swayam Vyaktam Idam Vimanam Ranga Sangeetam. Totadri Pushkaran Cheva Shalagramascha Naimisham. You go and see these kshetras, you feel something that is, it makes you feel that you are naturally subservient. You feel that you are a adiyan. You feel that there is such a magnificence in front of you lying down in Yoga Nidra. How can you say that you are that? See, Madhvacharya mocks. In his Vishnu Tattvanirnaya, he says, if I go in front of the chief minister or the prime minister today, or the president, or chancellors in other countries, or the different forms of rulers, kings and queens, all these governors, I go and tell, I am you, I am the governor, I am the king, I am the ruler, I am the queen. People will consider you are dumb. You are, something has happened to you. They will not consider you are wise, because they know the people who have ascended those thrones, they have accomplished certain things. They have some sort of profile, credentials that make them to sit in a certain place. No institution today would just rather randomly take people and make them sit anywhere. Even those people who consider Sarva Veda would not, when they invite the president of a country and a poor individual such as beggars of the country or people, they will not make them sit next to each other just because they believe that Sarva Veda is there. Naturally, we all, even Ramanuja has told us, naturally we all feel that Veda is there. There is Chetana Veda, there is Acharya Veda, there is Chetana Veda with Paramatma Tattva. Vedo Jiva Ganaha. Hare Anucharaha. One thing that is different in Ramanuja and Shankara is Sharira Shariri Bhava. That I will come later. Hare Anucharaha. All of us are Haridasa. All of us are Harijanas. All of us are Hari Bhaktas, Vishnu Bhaktas. Hare Anucharaha. Nichocha Bhavangataha. This is one thing that is a bit different in both these schools of thought. Yet at the same time, both of them also agree that a different version of Taratamya exists. Muktihi naija sukhanubhutihi. What is moksha? What is nitya vibhuti? Muktir naija sukhanubhutihi. You experience yourself. Soham sakshatkara. Soham is not saha aham. Tat sadrishaha aham in Ramanuja Siddhanta. Tad adinoham in Madhva Siddhanta. But even in the sadrishya, adinya is not gone in Ramanuja Siddhanta. Niranjana paramam samyam upaiti. Only atyanta samipya. That atyanta samipya moksha is sayujya, samipya, salokya, sarupya moksha. 4 types of moksha in Parandama, Anantasana Sheto Dvipa Vaikunta has been agreed by both the philosophers. Amala Bhaktischa Tatsadana. So in Sadhana Adhyaya in Brahma Sutra, there is Upasana, there is Vairagya, there is Aparoksha Jnana, there is Bhakti. In that, Bhakti is very important in both these schools. Though it is not to forget that Shankaracharya has already, and not only Shankaracharya, there were many other mystics, saints, and other individuals in different language traditions, in different, from different communities, had sown the seeds of, had already germinated the seeds of bhakti, had there, whether it is Shankaracharya's Bhajagovindam and so on, there were already the seeds of bhakti that had blossomed. flowered, de-seeded, that had grown. But Ramanuja was the first individual to give bhakti a very, very different shape. One of the inspirations is from Valmiki Ramayana. Sakradeva Prapannaya Tavasmiti Sakradeva Prapannaya Prapatti Sakradeva Prapannaya Tavasmiti Chayachate Abhayam Sarva Bhutebhyo Dadami Etad Vratam Mama. Even if Ravana has committed grave sin, even if anyone commits such grave sins, the idea of confession here is not the idea of confession that exists in other religions. So that doesn't mean that you can do whatever you want, whatever grave sin, whatever heinous crimes you can indulge, and then you go and tell, you take Tirtha Prasada in temple and then do some prayashitta, everything will vanish. No. Paschatapa is important, prayashitta is important, also karmapala bhoga is also there. So it is not going to be so easy that I do anything and then I get away with it. But I'm not going to speak on the karma aspect of it. Sakradeva Prapanna, this is the idea of Vishnu. Sakradeva Prapannaya Tavasmiti Chayachate Abhayam Sarva Bhutebhyo Dadami Etad Vratam Mama. That is the Karunya of Sri Ramachandra. This is very inspirational for Ramanuja. This is one of the very important sources from Ramayana for Ramanuja. That is the idea of bhakti. That bhakti, that is paripakva bhakti. Such a paripakva bhakti, if one has, which Ajamila did not have earlier, the moment he had a divine vision. So the Bhagavata Purana stories goes both ways. One is whatever he saw, Yamabhritya and Narayana Bhritya fighting with each other is just a vision. Later he becomes sadhu and then he continues Sanmarga, or he goes moksha, Narayana Smaranat. But even Dhruva, it's not just Dhruva had 6 months of tapas and then he got Paramatma Tattva Darshana. No. He went in his Purva Janma. He did a lot of tapas, but 6 months of tapas was pending. That Anushtana, that Anusandhana, that sadhana was pending. That sadhana, among all these sadhana, bhakti, bhaktincha bhuyasim tabhyam prasanno darshanam prajet, Madhvacharya's Gita Tattparya. Jnana, it is very important. Atmava re drashtavyo, shrotavyo, mantavyo, nididhyasitavyaha. We have to philosophize. What is philosophizing? Philosophizing means, in Ramanuja Siddhanta, in Madhva Siddhanta, it's the same epistemology. Pratyaksha, Anumana, Shabda, Aragama. Pratyaksha Jnana, perceptual cognition. Anumiti, inferential cognition. Shabda Bodha, Aragama Jnana, lingual cognition or verbal cognition. They come from Pratyaksha, perception, Indriya. They come from inference, reason, logic. They come from language or verbal testimony. Language means verbal testimony means there is no difference. Apta vakyam shabdaha. Vakyartha bodha is shabda bodha. So shabda means vakya. Vakya means vakya samoha bhasha, language. So language, perception and inference. These are the three pramanas in both these. Pratyaksha is very important there. The fourth pada of sadhana dhyaya is aparoksha jnana. Even in that pratyaksha, aparoksha jnana, divya paroksha jnana, that is the Vishnu in Ramanuja Siddhanta is in 5 forms: para, vibhava, vyuha, antaryami and archa. That divya paroksha jnana is very important. In Madhva Siddhanta, Paramatmane, Satatam Eka Rupine, Dasha Rupine, Shata Sahasra Rupine, Avikarine, Sputam Ananta Rupine, Sukha Chit Samasta Tanave Namo Namaha. So, in both these philosophy, you can see such a stark similarities, such a stark Vishnu Bhakti. so close to each other, so close to heart. That Vishnu Bhakti is the sadhana. That is what will lead us to Aparoksha Jnana. What Narada has, what Brahma has, what Vayu, Mukhya Prana, Hanuman has, what Dhruva has, what Prahlada has. All these people, they had that Aparoksha Jnana, realization of Parabrahma. Not, see, there were a lot of people who saw Rama, who saw Krishna, who saw Parashurama. There were a lot of people who played with Krishna. Not all of them had that they were Paratattva. They were Sarvottama. Vishnu, he was Vishnu Sarvottama. No. They had merely Krishna is a friend. Even in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna, Arjuna says, Saketi matva prasabam yaduktam, he Krishna, he Yadava, he Saketi. Yachapa hasartam asatkrutosi vihara shayyasana bhojaneshu. Everyone had this. But you can see there were Gopi. Even ISKCON had this kind of bhakti conception. Little different versions of bhakti. Hare Krishna Pantha, Madhva Brahma, Gaudiya, Vaishnavism. Even in there, Ramanujacharya, Madhvacharya, Vallabhacharya, Nimbarkacharya, many of these people have had, even in the Hare Krishna Pantha, in Prachina, Gaudiya, Vaishnavism, there is a very, very, very spiritual place for all these acharyas. There are 4 Vaishnavism, Gaudiya Vaishnavism. One of them is called Madhva Brahma Gaudiya Vaishnavism. Another one is Ramanuja Vaishnavism, where Ramanandi is one of the very important individual that also in a way inspired Swaminarayana Sampradaya of Aksharadhama and other Swaminarayana Sampradayas. In all these, Swaminarayana is a bit different, but there is a lot of similarity with Ramanuja and Madhva, even Ramanandi and ISKCON. So in all these Siddhanta, you can see that there is a harmony. There is no conflict. If at all there is conflict, the Vada Parampara, Vade Jayate Tattvabodha. Vada is never done for to win over the other. It is always done for Tattvabodha, Tattvajnana, philosophy. Tattvajnana means philosophy, Darshana, Aparokshak Darshana. So for that, Parokshat Aparoksha, Parokshat Aparoksham. So that through language and inference, we need to have that divine perception. What Krishna says, it is not possible. Bhaktya tvananyaya shakyaha aham evam vidurjuna. Jnatum drashtum cha tattvena praveshtum cha parantapa. Naveda yagnat jainer nadanaihi. Nachakriyabir natapo birugraihi. So, shakya evam vido drashtum drishtavanasi yanmama. Even it is not possible. You do whatever. What is very important is Hari Kripa and Guru Kripa. Bhaktischa Tatsadhana. Even Jayatirtha or Tikacharya in Madhva philosophy, he says, Nashabdabdau Gada, Nacha Nigama Charchasu Chatura, Nachanyaye Prouda, Vidita Vedya Apivayam. So we might have read all these, but we are not scholar in this. Then how come we are able to speak on these topics? Only because Param Shrimat Purna Pramati Guru Karani Sannim. Because of the Guru Kripa. That Guru Kripa, that Guru Seva, that Vaishnava Seva is very, very important. Because all these Vaishnavas, they have invested their, not just Artha, money, but Artha, Jnana, Sampat, Jnana Sampat. They have invested their Dharma. They have invested their Kama, not that lust, but the desire. They have invested their life. They have invested their time. Life is time. Everything that they have invested. And they have shown us path. So it is important for us to learn from their path. Whether that is the point of reading Itihasa Purana. If we have to engage in Veda and Vedanta, without reading Veda, without reading Itihasa Purana, it is not possible. Mahabharata says, the one who does not have the knowledge of Itihasa Purana, the Panchama Veda, will violate me. I am threatened by that individual. Itihasa Puranabhyam Vedam Samupa Brahmayet Bibetyalpa Shrutad Vedaha Mamayam Prachalishyati. Will violate me. unless that person has invested their time in the entire Veda. Even Rama, when he meets Hanuman for the first time, he says, just to speak few words, he says, the one who has not read Rigveda, Yajurveda, Samaveda, Nan Rigveda, Vinitasya and all, cannot speak like this. That is the point of Veda. And that Veda knowledge will only come from Itihasa Purana. And that Itihasa Purana knowledge will only come from Bhashatraya Jnana, Riti Jnana, and Purana Sthana Pantanam, Bhashatraya Vedinam. So they have to read all the hermeneutics, Mimamsa, and they have to read Itihasa Purana. With that Bhashatraya Jnana, Samadhi Darshana, Guhya Bhasha Jnana, they have to read Itihasa Purana. These Itihasa Purana, it speaks about Vamshanacharita. Why? Because we need to know what kind of life is an ideal life. What is that the Purvacharyas have lived before us. Now, Bhaktisya Tatsadhanam, Aksha Aditritayam Pramanam, this I already told. Pratyaksha, Anumana, Agamar Shabda is Pramanam. It is the same in Ramanuja Siddhanta also. Akilam Nayayika Vedyohari. This is very important for both these people. The Mangalacharana that I started, I told I will speak later, is Sadagamaika Vigneyam. Akilam Nayayika Vedyohari. Akila Amnaya. Every single Amnaya, Shastra, Veda, Paurushaya or Apaurushaya, the point of them is to glory. Adavantecha Madhyecha Vishnu Sarvatra Giyate. Why? Madhvacharya says, even Ramanujacharya has said this, but I told you what the Aparacharya does. For example, Ramanujacharya does. Wherever there is no clarity before his Purvacharyas, that point he has given clarity. If you take, I'm taking one example, Yatindra Mata Deepika, but it is not that that's the only text in Vishita Advaita Parampara. Wherever there is problem in the Purvacharya text, that is, if it is Sarvata, there is no Samanvaya possible, then it is Apramana, Atattva Vedaka. But it is our responsibility to see whether there is Samanvaya is possible, because Avirodha has to be seen. I will tell you one interesting fact that no other Indian philosopher other than Ramanuja and Madhva have done. In his Sri Bhashya, Ramanujacharya says that is Mimamsa Grantha is Vimshal Lakshanatmakam. Vimshati Adhyaya. 20 chapters are there. Madhvacharya also says the same. Raghavendra Tirtha has written elaborate commentary on the Purva Mimamsa, Bhatta Sangraha. I cannot say this also because even Shankaracharya says Vivahare Bhattanaya. For the entire Vedanta Parampara is never opposing Mimamsa Parampara. When it comes to Samhita, Brahmana, Aranyaka, interpreting them, the Nyayas that they have used by Jaimini school, Shabara school, Kumari Labhatta school, and Prabhakara Mishra school, and Murari Mishra school, they have referred to them. They have not completely neglected or avoided. Wherever there is a Prameya Samasya, ontological problem, at that point of time, they have helped us provide a research method for us to analyze and interpret. This is philosophizing. Empirical observation of the universe and the universe maker through Shastras. Rational investigation of the Shastras, of the Paravidya and Aparavidya. And discourse analysis or critical interpretation of the Shastras with the critical thinking. And the very academic mindset. What is academic? Many people think academic is not to be religious. Academic means being, of course, secular, Vargatita. You do not belong to one pantha. But that doesn't mean you don't practice one pantha. Academic means being unbiased. Wherever there is proper yukti, proper shastra, sambada, corroboration. There you speak the truth. The point of academics and science and philosophy and religion is to speak truth. You cannot say that because truth is truth, that it is saying truth is biased. It is tautological, but it cannot be biased because it is fact at the end of the day. Akshadi Tritayam Pramanam. The entire Mimamsa is the entire Purva Mimamsa, Madhya Mimamsa, Atato Dharma Mimamsa, Atato Karma, Daivi Mimamsa, Atato Brahma Jignasa. That entire 20 chapters of 12 chapters of Purva Mimamsa, 4 chapters of Madhya Mimamsa, Daivi Mimamsa, and the 4 chapters of Brahma Mimamsa or Sharirika Mimamsa. One has to study whether in Madhva tradition or in Ramanuja tradition. Akila Amnayeka Vidyohari. Those will help us to do Samanvaya, to understand Shastra. What is that Vishnu? Now, I have next 15 minutes. I will go to the Mangala Charana. So far, I provided a comparative, because I had a very limited time of 45 minutes to do the, provide a brief comparison between Ramanuja and Madhva. There is a lot of differences. There is a lot of similarities also at the same time. So one cannot be neglected over the other. Now comes the what is God? The God who is omniscient, omnificent, omni-agent, omnipotent, omnipresent, immanent, and benevolent. The supereminent, the infinite, the independent supreme being, he is Paramatma, only one. So many people think Hinduism is polytheistic. According to Ramanuja and Madhva, it is polytheistic at a very different sense. It is monotheistic at a very different sense. Vedartha Tattva is only Hari. Only Hari is supreme being. Doesn't mean that there are no other people. In Yatindra Vatadipika, in Ishvara Prakarana, Ishvara Avatara, there is a lot of questions in the beginning. And then there is a Parihara. Vedas also speak of different gods, different divine beings. Then Hakilam Nayeka Vedyo Harihi Katam. So it says, Sadagamaika Vigneyam. All these people are spoken, but they are Sharira. The Shariri is supreme being. The Ghataka Shruti Samanvaya. There, even though Ramanujacharya says there is also Abheda, there is also Bheda. Madhvacharya also says this, but in a very different, distinct sense. If the word, so Ramanuja says, even if there is Shruti speaking about Rudra, that Tattva, that Rudra Tattva is also speaking about this Rudra and the one who produced the Rudra, that is Hiranyagarbha. And Hiranyagarbha is also produced by Paramatma. So thus, it is not only speaking about the tattvas that are in front of you, that they are speaking about the creator. Upadana Karana, Nimitta Karana, and Sahakari Karana. The cooperant cause, the instrumental cause, and or auxiliary cause, and the material cause. So they are speaking about both. Everything is speaking about the one that you see in front of you, and also through that, the one that is the cause for everything. So, and in these two Siddhanta, as Bhagavad Gita very clearly, explicitly said, Lakshmi Devi is Nitya Viyogini, Shri Bhu Durga. She is always with Vishnu. Sarvalankara Bharitau, Sarvagnyau, Sarvasadgunau. Sharvadi Sarva Bhaktauga Sarvasva Dayakau. Sumukau, Sundaratarau, Sunasau, Sukachittanu, Suraradita Padabjo, Rama, Narayano Stuma. Both of them are worshipped equally. Both of them are Nitya Viyogi. Though Parabrahma Vishnu is Ananta Kalyana Guna Paripurna. Ambrini Sukta, Devi Sukta also says the same. Yam Kamaye Tam Tamugram Kranami Tam Brahmanam Tam Rishim Tam Sumeda. But Mama Yoni Apsu Antas Samudre. Mama Yoni, my source is lying in the middle of the ocean, Kshirasagara. We also discussed about Paramatma's different actions, that is Janmadhyasetaha. Two things that are pending is about his avatars and Sarvashabda Vachyatva. So, according to Madhvacharya, in Brihadaranyaka Bhashya, he says every sound, every word is only speaking of the God. Now, this was, we just discussed, Ramanuja says the same. How? Madhvacharya gives a technical term for it. Amukhya Vritya, tertiary signification is to all that you see. Mukhya Vritya, primary signification is to those that are denoted. Parama Mukhya Vritya, every word, super primary denotation. It speaks about the Supreme Being, the Unim. The Unim of the whole Shabda Prapancha is Paramatma Tattva. My Guruji, I studied Indian philosophy and Sanskrit studies. Now we have designed a master's program in Indian philosophy and Sanskrit studies at Manipal University. There are around 10 students, including international ones. I studied Indian philosophy and Sanskrit studies in Purna Prajna Vidyapita, Bengaluru, of Pedavara Swamiji. And I had the privilege to study Vedanta text directly under him for more than 2 years. I traveled with him and then studied. He used to give this example. Vishweshatirtha Swamiji, Pedavara Swamiji, who was also awarded Padma Vibhushan posthumously. He used to give this example. There is a mother going. There is a coconut tree. The child asks mother or parent, father. So mother, what is that? Mother says, it's coconut. I want to see that. Then the mother gets it for the child. What is there inside? I want to see. Then the mother asks them to remove the peel it off. Child asks, what is that? It's peel. You told coconut. Then mother said, this is coconut. Inside what it is there, that is coconut. The child asks, I want to see what is there inside. Mother gets it broken. Then the child asks, what is that? She takes off the shell and says, this is shell. What is that inside? This is coconut. Then the child said, you told that is coconut. Then the mother says, the Shabda, though it speaks of the outer objects, that is all these shariras, Chetana, what Ramanujacharya has told, Ashesha Chitachid Vastu Sheshine. Even though this entire Chetana Prakara is told by the Shabda, but the Samanvaya is always in the Paratattva. That is the Prakari, the Visheshya, the Sheshi. That is the innermost essence, Antaryami Tattva in Ramanuja Siddhanta, in Madhva Siddhanta. Innermost essence, the kernel of the coconut, the kernel is the coconut. But the outside, everything is husk and peel and shell. This is the story my Guruji used to speak while explaining Parama Mukhya Vritti. The same is there, Sadagamaika Vigneyam. And according to both of these schools of thought, Samatita Ksharaksharam, Ksharatattva, Lakshmi Tattva, Ksharatattva, the entire Chetanatmaka Prapancha, and Akshara Tattva. Vishnu is Ato Yasmak Sharamatitoham Aksharapichottamaha. I am above Kshara and Akshara, perishable and imperishable. Even above imperishable, Vishnu does not have any kind of limitation. Desha, Kala, Vastu, Linga, Jati, nothing. no end, no boundary, no restriction for Paramatma Vishnu. Samatita Ksharakshara. Nirdosha Shesha Sadguna. Anant, even Ramanujacharya says, Nirmala, Nirdosha. There is no dosha. And Ananta Kalyana Nidaye, Ashesha Sadguna. Ananta Kalyana Nidaye. There is Ananta Kalyana Guna Paripurna. Kalyanika Tana Vishnu. Sheshashai Vishnu. Narayanam Sadavande. That is the form of Vishnu in these two schools of Vaishnavism of Vedanta. That is the essence of Veda. Because the entire essence of Veda, Ityasa Puranabhyam Vedam Samapabhrame, Ada Avantecha Madhyecha Vishnu Sarvatra Giyate. And that is the essence of Vedanta. And however, yes, of course, when we look at religion as an institutional exercise, it might become a political institution rather than a social institution. When it becomes political institution, it might be infused with bigotry and problems. But it is our responsibility to keep our beliefs do not harm others' belief. We have to engage with other individuals, be it of any religion, be it of any belief system. The point for us is whatever path anyone takes, everyone, as Krishna told in Bhagavad Gita very clearly, all of them attain him only, the Supreme Being. He is called by different names, as we just saw. Just because they are called by different names, they are not addressing different individuals. They are addressing in Ramanuja Siddhanta. Entire prapancha is his sharira. That is, it's Vishishta Advaita, qualified monism in English. It's translated by some scholars. So in Dvaita, everything is his creation in Vedanta. So there is no point of fighting over with the other. Rather, we are obliged and responsible to have a dialogue of harmony, a debate of, in the interest of intellectual progression. That is that Jnana Gati will give us Bhakti, Prapatti, and then that Prapatti will reward us Moksha. So here I have tried my best to simplify and provide these concepts in as far as possible, very cohesive manner. They might have been deviations in here and there. Jnana Abdira Pyavadi Skalatvam Swatmanastada Mandana Madrishanam Kim Tam Tad Vacham Kshamyantu Butadbudaha. So if there has been deviations from the topic, I would apologize for that, and I hope I have kept myself to the time limit and tried to complete the whole lecture in as far as possible in a very compact manner. Yes, sarva guna sampurnaha sarva dosha vivarjitaha priyatam pritayevalam Vishnurume paramas suhrit. Hare Ram Narayan.
Thank you, Mr. Acharya. Very nice talking with you. We are very much happy. Now I request Srinivasa and Madhavan to render the vote of thanks.
Good evening to all. Today the topic given by Dr. Srinivasa Acharya, Associate Professor and Head Department of Philosophy, Manipal Academy of Higher Education, Manipal, under the topic Vishnu, Vaishnavism and Vedanta, Philosophizing Religion, was very interesting and
Sir, you are muted. Srinivasan. Srini, you are muted. Please unmute. Yes.
so whatever possible within that period, he has completed it. So on behalf of Dr. Dayanidhi, our HOD of Department of Vaishnavism, University of Madras, and Alumni Association of Vaishnavism, we convey our thanks to Dr. Srinivasa Acharya. Thanks to all. Thank you.
Mr. Parsardi. You can officially announce.
Yeah, I think any question answers is needed, or we can just close it now.
No problem. Let them ask. We will have another 10 minutes for question answer. If any question is asked, Acharya Swami, you are ready to answer for any questions? Okay, good.
Yes.
I think
we can close now.
the lecture was very clear, no doubt to anybody.
Yeah.
So I request Parsadi Swami to announce the official closure.
Yeah, thank you very much for all of you to joining in. It was a very nice lecture. So we officially close the lecture here. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much to everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks to everyone, sir. Thanks.